Hey, it's Brad from Woo Help Facebook group, all that fun stuff. Okay, let's get into some clarification here on WooCommerce and CBD THC, ABC BBD, the East Coast family. So it all started back in the day. Hi everyone, I have a CBD store in WooCommerce and I got this email response from their support recently. And let's read this together. When your WooCommerce.com account was created and or linked to a WordPress.com login, there's a couple of more and ors, but let's keep going. It then fell under the WordPress.com store guidelines, which are located right there. And clearly it says controlled substances, including marijuana, cannabidiol oil, and other cannabis-derived products. Okay? This includes, but is not limited to, sites using WordPress.com, which the gentleman is not. Golden Legacy CBD is his site. The Jetpack plugin, and any extensions from WooCommerce.com. Similar to using WordPress to self-host your site somewhere other than WordPress.com servers, you're welcome to continue using the core WooCommerce plugin. Sort of. As a connection to WooCommerce.com is not required for the plugin to function. Kinda, but okay. We are, however, not able to offer support for your site, nor will you be able to get automatic updates for our products. As such, your site will be disconnected from WooCommerce.com account if CBD substances continue to be made available for direct purchase through your site. Okay. Whew. So, let's go through this real quick and let's just look at this. Don't worry about the first part. This was something else. But I tried to make a highly engaging graphical content to help explain this. Okay. Pardon my stand-up desk here. Look. If at any point in time you have followed the prompt in the onboarding to connect your site to WooCommerce, connect your store to Jetpack. No. Or yes. If at any point you have continued with WooCommerce services as well, okay? At any point, if you ever said, wow, in order to make my WooCommerce site continue to run and get updates or anything else, then, maybe I'd like to go ahead and click that button right. Nope. There. Connect your store. Absolutely. That's the smartest thing to do, said every store owner in the world. Okay. So then we find out that on top of all that, if you have connected it during the onboarding prompt for any reason, let's say you hate Jetpack and you know how to disable every hook and every action in Jetpack. Let's say you know how to turn off everything in Jetpack, but you just want to have, okay, we're going to have that connection because they want it. Okay, fine. If you have ever connected for updates, if you have ever used a .com login, now, bonus material. If you have a hosting company that Automattic has ever made any type of capital investment in, then you're screwed there as well. There's a list of different ones they have invested in, have not invested in, things like that. But this poor guy here was using Bluehost, right? And of course, WordPress.org, not .com, WordPress.org has a list of hosting companies and things like that that they recommend. So this poor guy goes through, it's so typical. You find a hosting company, you do what the prompt says, you connect it. Maybe you're more an advanced user and you want to disconnect stuff and slim down your site. Okay, fine, but that doesn't matter either. If you have ever used Pressable, love them. Automattic has invested in them. If you've ever used WP Engine, well, Automattic has invested in WP Engine. If you're using Bluehost, Automattic has invested in Bluehost as well. Okay, thanks. That's about as clear as mud. So if we use anything there, then you're hosed as well. So let's just go through here. At any point in time, would you like to connect site name to your username on WooCommerce.com? Your response should be, hell motherfreaking no. Okay? If you ever see the prompt that says, would you like to continue with Jetpack, even though you know how to unhook a lot of the services and the features of Jetpack, even though you know how to turn all kind of this stuff off, if you would ever like to connect with Jetpack, the answer is hell motherfreaking no. If you're using CBD, THC, or anything else. Again, if it's anything that is CBD plus or minus 0.3%, if it's derived from hemp or cannabis, that part doesn't matter. Don't ask me to explain it. It sounds like ABC, BBD, the East Coast family, and that's all I can relate it to. But it doesn't matter. So these are all of the conditions, right? Tried to draw some concentric circles here. Does everybody see that little tiny dot right there? No? Because that little tiny dot is so small. It's so small. Let me make it a little bit bigger to see. No, you still can't see it, right? If you have a CBD, THC, who cares what the percentage, who cares anything, just run. Just run quickly. And I'm sure that somebody from Automattic is going to say, no, don't say that. And then you can have some kind of after-the-fact dialogue or anything like that. But here's the bottom line. If you've ever connected it via the onboarding prompt, you've connected it. If you've ever connected it in the back end to connect with updates, then you've still made that connection. If you've ever made that connection using a .com login with WordPress.com, then you've made that connection there as well. If you're using any hosting company that Automattic has invested in, then that falls under the guidelines as well. And again, let's go over these and look at them. This is WordPress.com store guidelines. However, it does still apply to this poor guy's site. Okay? and let's assume that there can be some consistency and not a after-the-fact clarification of the modification of the reiteration of the communication. Okay? We need to have some clear guidelines because this isn't Chiropractor Bob's, brochure website. These are e-commerce sites, and there's one open in the other monitor that has a few $1 million flowing through it. And there's probably hundreds of thousands of other CBD sites as well. Run quickly. It does not matter, okay? And this is what the lawyer said is a legality of technicality of formalities. Yes, if you downloaded the WooCommerce plugin directly from WordPress.org, okay, or install the WooCommerce plugin via the plugins page of your site. Well, okay, great. That's only a certain amount of people, right? Well, however, the second you go to follow that prompt and you connect it for updates, you're now screwed. You will not have any more updates. You will not have any more support. You will, if you're outside the 30-day window for a refund, if you've ever connected it via the onboarding prompt, if you've ever used the .com login, when the automated onboarding says, what's your .com login, then you're screwed as well. And if you have a hosting company, Bluehost, Pressable, and it'd be nice if they could have a clarification list of, we Automattic have invested in HostGator, Monster, Blue, Papa Daddy, whatever, and we're going to tell you after the fact that you can't have your site hosted there as well. So let's just get to know that list ahead of time, and let's just communicate that for the store owners, because those are the people that matter the most. Not just to me, but to everybody else as well. At least it should be. So if you've ever followed this, run. Go to BigCommerce, go to something else. We all know that Shopify is having their thing with CBD, THC, all that stuff. If you're using Stripe, PayPal, whatever, I would just go buy a bicycle and then sell your CBD, THC that way as well, because that would be moved over to Pantheon. Okay, well, let's hope they don't have a. Well, good luck with that. Any hosting company, if Automattic has invested in through venture capital, things like that, that may fall under the requirements as well. I've already followed up with Pressable, and they have verified that as well. So don't connect it. Okay. Again, let's just go over this real quick, or we can skip to the bottom line. Just don't. Because honestly, if you've been doing this for 10 years, you know that at some point, somebody's going to get offended, then they're going to come back and clarify, then they're going to get mad at me, and then maybe they're going to come back and say, okay, wait, we'll modify this after the fact. But, there's people like Jason and his self-hosted WooCommerce site. There's so many conditions when you really look at what they're saying and listen to what they're doing. There's so many reasons that you're going to fall under one of them. Okay, bottom line. If you have a CBD, THC, oil, cannabis, whatever the heck, if you're using subscriptions, memberships, and anything else, it really doesn't matter. If you downloaded it via, if you downloaded, bear with me here. Are there exceptions? Yes. Hemp-derived clothing. I don't know what that is. If it's not at Kohl's or Target, I don't know what it is. But anyways, okay, so if you have anything, there it is. If you have anything from any extension downloaded directly from WooCommerce.com. So, here's my account right here. If you click download right there, you're screwed. If you're using Sensei or MailChimp for WooCommerce, downloaded it right there, you're screwed. There's really no way for them to know the difference if this poor guy downloaded it from the back end of his site or from, having an account. Maybe he's in there and maybe he's shopping around, and the next thing you know, he says, hey, look, I'll take PayPal checkout. No, you're screwed. No, you're hosed. If you've ever downloaded Stripe, or Amazon Pay, Facebook for WooCommerce, doesn't matter what it is, GivoChat. If you've ever downloaded it from, and don't forget, these are all the conditions that you can have to get booted. If you've ever downloaded it from WooCommerce.com, right? Well, maybe that's not a lot of people. Most people are going to download it from the back end of their site. Well, okay, fine. That's, a certain set of people. If you've ever followed the prompt to connect it and get automatic updates, no, you're hosed. If you're using a hosting company that Automattic has invested in, no, you're screwed. If you've ever used a .com login to connect those, either for WooCommerce services or anything else, yeah, you're screwed as well. And of course, if you've ever followed the prompt, which, that narrows down the list of people that can use WooCommerce to sell CBD, THC. It's so tiny. Even if you downloaded WooCommerce from GitHub, for God's sakes, so that you can run beta updates, the second you go to click connect or anything else, now you're screwed. So, when you see this prompt right here that says, oh, wait a minute, not too many people, Brad, are ever going to download WooCommerce from, inside their WooCommerce account, right? That's only you and a handful of other, super WooCommerce nerds. Okay, rock on. The second you do any of these other things also, or in addition to, then you're screwed as well. If you're outside of your 30-day window to get a refund, have a good day. Peace out. Love you. Bye-bye. Go sell your THCBD, the East Coast family products, whatever, via a bicycle and a food truck, something. Don't use WooCommerce at all, because the number of conditions is basically never. Okay, and that's the stance that they've taken. Of course, we all know that can be subject to modification at any second, and no one will know until after the fact. And of course, if you're using a hosting company as well, the hosting company, if they've received capital from Automattic, they can also say, "Ha, peace out, buddy. You paid for a year in advance." Okay. Maybe they'll give you a refund. Maybe they'll give you a prorated refund if you've already blown, $480 on WooCommerce products, to set up, this poor guy's store here. Let's all give him some love. See how much money we can give him. CBD soft gels, sublingual CBD oil tinctures, whatever that, and topical salve. Gotta love you some salve. Oh Lord. If you're using WooCommerce and you have a CBD, THC, the East Coast family, never skipped a beat. Nah. While cooling on South Street, jet black pens, pretty bands, and all the Philly steaks you can eat. Back in school, we used to dream about this every day. Okay. They're not against it or anything else, but if you've got some kind of, whatever this is, cannabis has 2 species. Great. Thanks for the horticultural lesson. I don't know what it is. Maybe some of you folks do, but it really doesn't matter, because the number of chances that you have to violate any of the terms is like literally trying to fit a camel through the eye of a needle. Okay? It's impossible. Don't do it. Run now before it's too late. I don't know if I've asked the gentleman here to see if he'll clarify. I've asked a few other people. And had some wonderful blowback on, I'd like for you to be accountable and grow up. And so they come back and get pissed and, okay, fine, whatever. But this guy has just now found out after the fact. It would be good to get some clarification. Since there is not a bit of clarification, I would just say run. Obviously Shopify isn't doing it. Stripe, PayPal, things like that. If you've got a THCBD whatever site and it's related to anything plus or minus 0.03%, just don't do it. You know what's funny? I'll tell you something that's funny. A lawyer pointed this out. Dear Automattic lawyers, here's some free legal, non-legal advice. Where'd it go? Where's the 0.3 part? Yeah, here it is. As a result, we're currently unable to offer support for any WooCommerce site that sells CBD oil or other cannabis-derived products, whether the CBD oil is over or under 0.3%. Well, now wait a minute. Let's get into the technicalities here. What if it's exactly 0.3? You're good. No. You're still screwed. Because chances are you're using a Automattic invested hosting company. You've connected it for updates. You've ever followed the onboarding prompt, and you've probably used a .com login to, go get your API keys, automate the updates, things like that. You're screwed. Just don't. just run. Even if they do come back and say, "Crap, Brad, you prick," we should update that to say including 0.3%. If you're into law stuff and writing and things like that, you'll understand the difference there. If it's over or under zero point 0.3 or exactly 0.3, it doesn't matter. Just don't. I mean, basically that's the gist of that umbrella clause. It says, if you fart, eat, breathe, sleep, live, or are breathing the same air as anything related to automatic, you're screwed. Have a good day. You wanted updates? You're outside the 30-day refund policy. Who knows? If you're using an automatic hosting company, I've already confirmed with a couple of them. But anything else, who knows what all the qualifications are? You don't want to find out the hard way, and you definitely don't want to find out after the fact as well. If you're running WooCommerce and you've got a CBD, THC, the East Coast Family website, and you're selling products that are derived or originate from the hemp or cannabinoid, whatever, just run. Just don't do it. Make a drop shipping site for t-shirts. Sell your awesome baby signs. Sell women's leggings. Sell anything else. Just don't at all use WooCommerce for anything, period, related to CBD or THC. You're going to find, and I'm not sure, nobody knows if this guy's prompt was automated because they're looking at products. This was another kind of creepy factor, kind of Big Brother creepy factor that really didn't sit well with a lot of people. We all know that they're not monitoring your personal data and stuff like that and all these other, oh no, it's totally, we're just monitoring the usage stats, stuff like that, yeah. Well, look, somebody had to come in there and look at this guy's products, be it an automated script looking for the words, a similar word, or maybe they've hired an army of magical elves to go look at everybody's WooCommerce site. It doesn't matter, it really doesn't. Poor guy's ass deep into his WooCommerce site, and then surprise. You don't know what all those surprises are. You don't know when they're going to change the terms of the service at any point without notification. And of course, they're not going to give you a list of, these are all the hosting companies as well, that we're going to then, after the fact, come back and tell you, oh, hey, by the way, you're screwed. If you have met any of these conditions, just don't. Any and all CBD, THC related sites should be probably shut down immediately, and you need to run over to, BigCommerce or something and have carrier pigeons for your payment gateways or something. It's such a mess, and of course somebody is going to come back after the fact and say, no, Brad, don't say this, don't say that. But look, my heart is always in the WooCommerce store owner, period, and there's not a clear definitive guideline for the hosting companies. There's not a clear definitive guideline for, there is a very clear definitive guideline for, the conditions, which are almost impossible to not be a part of. If you think that you're going to run your CBD THC site without having done any of these things, you're wrong. You're wrong. Unless you downloaded it from GitHub, never connected it, never want updates, you do manual updates for everything, you've never purchased a plugin, social login, WooCommerce subscriptions, or anything else from WooCommerce.com, then you can run your site. Okay, great. That's nobody. That's nobody at all. So, bottom line, if you've got a CBD THC site, I'm not going to say shut it down now, but you need to start thinking of your exit strategy immediately before, like this poor guy did here, before you find out after the fact. All right? Love you. Bye.